The struggle with lust is a very real thing, and I'm making this video for my younger self, who probably had the same problem as you. I've tried every single trick to not fall into the sin of lust, like doing push-ups every time I had an urge, having blockers on my phone, taking cold showers, you name it, I probably did it. But guess what? None of them helped me. Sure, maybe they helped me for a little bit, but then when I'd fall back into the sin of lust, I'd feel more helpless and worse off than I was before, feeling guilt and shame. It's like I was stuck in a hole that was getting deeper and deeper, making it feel impossible to escape. So if you relate to that, I know your struggles. But no matter how hard you try by yourself, you will never overcome this alone. Thankfully, that's why we have Jesus. So I'm gonna share what helped me rid myself of that addiction, get out of my rut, and start having self-control. And just to let the people know who aren't religious that are watching this video, do not give in to the urge to click off this video, because I still made this video to help you out too. There's a verse in the Bible that you should be keeping in mind throughout this whole video, which is Ephesians 6:12. And it says, "For we are not fighting against flesh and blood, but against the evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in our dark world, and against evil spirits in heavenly places." You need to understand that the devil is very smart, and he will use the sin of lust, anything from watching porn, even the softcore stuff that you see on social media, or maybe even in person, to implant fantasies into your mind so that you go farther with fapping or trying to sleep around with as many people as you can. And just remember, I went through all of this as well, so I'm not condemning anyone. I'm here to help you. But what's essential to understand is the devil's main goal isn't just to get you to fall into these traps, because Jesus offers repentance. He already paid for that sin. It's forgiven. So because of that, the demon's main goal is to make us fall into despair. The devil wants us to make us feel like we have no power to overcome, and for us to just not seek God at all, in turn making us fall away from him. And then you get stuck in the cycle of sinning, being ashamed, believing you can't be forgiven, and then ending up giving into more and more sin. So what do we do about this? How do we overcome this struggle? No matter how hard you try, temptation is always going to exist, and it will try to attack you, especially if you're trying to get your life on the straight path. What you need to want something more than you want lust, and you cannot be vague with it. What you are fighting for must be specific, and what I personally fight for is my future wife and kids. Just imagine for a second your wife or your kids walking into your room doing your horrible act. Could be watching porn, fapping, cheating on your wife, whatever. Imagine that feeling of disappointment, not only in her, but in yourself as well, and ruining your kids' lives. I just can't stand that thought. It's horrible. So you need to find something to fight for that is very, very specific. Another thing that helped me in specific moments when I was just tempted or had an urge was praying. I know it sounds simple, but do not underestimate the power of prayer. Even just uttering the words Jesus will make the demons run away. Another verse in the Bible, which is James 4:7, says, "Submit to God, resist the devil, and he will flee." Doing this will not only make your spiritual life much stronger, it will also allow you to trust God more. You cannot do it by yourself. It's easy to think that you have all the power in these situations, but look how far it's gotten you. It sure did get me far. You have to trust God. The last thing that you need to know when you're going through this journey, and it takes a lot of big balls to do this, but when you do stumble, you have to forgive yourself. Because like I said before, Jesus has already forgiven it, and he's holding his hand out ready to help you. You just need to accept his forgiveness, and never take that for granted. Stay strong, stay diligent. Click on this video right now if you want to learn more about self-control, and I'll see you on the other side.